The next question, which was, I believe, about Pakatan Rakyat's ultimate stand, of course, as a multiracial party. What is your stand on the Indian issue, and in particular, gentlemen, that highlighted the question about injustice suffered by Indian students and the lack of scholarships given to them despite impressive results?
For years, that the question of scholarship should be based strictly on merits and need. Merits and need. For example, if you strictly just on merit on the Aborigines, for instance, then none of them will get it. So there's always that element of need. The same applies to, there is no question that the selection procedure and the criteria used by the Barisan National Government have not been very open, very transparent, and very accountable. I think that is the basic problem. We'd love to do that.
Inside the Dewan, I think the MPs from Pakatan have been very vocal on this issue in support for the scholarship on basis of merit and bid, like what Tan said, but also on the need. That's why we still support the scholarship that we provided now, and we're asking for more, so that those who qualified because of their excellent result should not be left out, not even consider of that. And the rest will be decided on the need, and the need for open and transparent selection of the candidates. I think this we have been speaking quite broadly in the House.
Sorry, the next question I believe was about...
Can I just add on? I'd like to mention that in the Common Policy Platform, there's a special provision which is addressing the positive discrimination policies based on needs, where every student should have the opportunities to a place in public institution of higher learning, regardless of their background. Now, the scuffle that Dr. Hatta mentioned involved the briefing between the Pakatan Rakyat MPs with Indian families, especially those who were denied scholarships. And what happened was they were meeting up at the lobby, but it was really a huge issue that was raised up about 3 weeks ago, specifically on the plight of these Indian students that were not given scholarship. So I beg to differ when I think when you mentioned that Pakatan Rakyat has not been vocal. In fact, it was Ipoh Barat together with Bukit Gantang, PAS and the AP representatives who met these families representing Pakatan Rakyat's view and their continuing efforts to make sure any family members, who have children who have been denied places, these issues have been brought up.
Right, the next question, fourth question I believe, was talking about Pakatan Rakyat and the stability of the coalition, particularly when it comes down to elected officials perhaps jumping ship. And I suppose the man who's been talking quite a bit about that certainly is Raja Petra. And then hopefully after Raja Petra gives his view, we'll have Dr. Zayed add on to what he thinks about the stability at the moment.
Now, I suppose I speak on behalf of the civil society movement rather than for Pakatan Rakyat, the political party. Now, some people may not have been aware or may have forgotten that in the run-up to the 2008 election, March 2008 election, in February 2008, we formed a movement called Barisan Rakyat, and basically it's a people's front. And Barisan Rakyat spent a few months to come up with a document that was called the People's Declaration, and it was in many languages, Deklarasi Rakyat, and we had it in Chinese and in Tamil as well. And we civil society movements, bloggers, basically under the umbrella of Barisan Rakyat, we blackmailed the political parties, and said that if you want our support, you have to come to the conference table. All's fair in love and war. And the opposition needed our votes, so they came to the conference table. And we had 7 political parties. We had PAS, we had DAP, Keadilan, Parti Socialist Malaysia, PSM, Parti Rakyat, we had SNAP, and so basically the 7 non-barisan political parties sat and adopted the document called the People's Declaration, which is Deklarasi Rakyat. Now there were certain things that we wanted and which the 7 political parties accepted. And because of that, the civil society movements, bloggers, NGOs, associations, movements, you name it, we all went around the country campaigning for the opposition. And I'm proud to say that all those places that we campaigned, we won. You know, I would like to believe it's not coincidental. But you see what happened after that? This social contract that the civil society movements and bloggers and all that signed with the political parties was conveniently forgotten. And we had people like Ronnie Liu from DAP as an example. We had Dr. Siti Maria from PAS, and so on and so forth. And when they came to accept this document, they were singing its praises. They said it was one of the best documents they've ever seen. It was one of the most beautiful piece of work that they've ever read. But the minute they came to power in 5 states, they forgot about this social contract. Now within that social contract was also the quality of the candidates. And none of this muat sumbat type, you know. You're having a meeting here discussing who should contest, and somebody walks out of the toilet and he says, yeah, why don't we put him? And he or she becomes a candidate. And then when the election results are announced, you say, oh shit, we won. Now what the hell are we going to do? So, early choice of candidates is very important. And what we did not want then, back in 2008, which we had to suffer, we meaning the Rakyat had to suffer, is just squabbling over seats. 2-3 political parties were actually fighting over the same seat. As one example, for instance, YB Gopin contested in Puchong, and PAS wanted the seat, DAP wanted the seat, and here we came in the middle, and we told PAS, we, the civil society, supports Gopin. And PAS said, okay, if Gopin wants the seat, we're prepared to forego the seat because of Gopin. And after PAS so graciously surrendered the seat, suddenly Keadilan came along and says, okay, I also want that seat. And if I don't get that seat, we're going to have a 3-corner fight. And I remember calling up Datuk Kamarul as well as Datuk Sri Anwar, and I said, if Keadilan contests in that seat, we, the civil society movements, are going to campaign for Barisan to make sure Keadilan loses, not only the candidate, but lose the deposit as well, you know. So these are cases where we have been very unhappy with the way candidates are chosen. Now, when Anwar came, when was it, 2 months ago, last month? March, yeah. That long. So, we told Anwar, the Rakyat supports the opposition. The Rakyat supports Pakatan. The Rakyat supports the creation of a 2-party system. But if you put again monkeys and donkeys to contest, we shall be the first to campaign for Barisan to defeat these jokers. And Anwar promised that the selection of candidates will be carefully done this time, and we shall give time
for the candidates to prepare themselves and not have a parachute candidate where suddenly from out of the sky somebody is sent into that area that is never been before and has to contest in that seat. So we want actually from now to know who will be contesting where and which party. And if these parties continue to squabble, fighting over who should be contesting, then we got to put in a third candidate from the civil society and we will whack both Barisan and Pakatan.